What is up, yo? We are going to be rolling old school up into an old school dungeon crawl. We're going to be doing the Dungeons and Dragons Castle Ravenloft board game. It's an awesome sort of, I would call it kind of like a light dungeon crawl. It's not that complicated at all. It's really easy to get into, but just because it's light, I don't mean that it's easy, because this is not an easy game. I mean, it's pretty brutal, actually. There's a bunch of games in this dungeon. It's called the Dungeons and Dragons Adventure. Let's see, Dungeons and Dragons Adventure board game system. I think that's what it's called. But anyway, it's there's Castle Ravenloft, which we're gonna play tonight. That's the first one that ever came out, and I think it is the most brutal, actually. I believe of all of them that I know of so far, it is it's kind of the hardest one, and it's really, really fun. It's, you know, like I said, it's easy to get into. It's all about just like slaying those monsters, trying not to die from the encounters that you have in here. You'll see that when we play this, and get through this scenario. It's all scenario based. You'll see that. And so Castle Ravenloft was the first one that has sort of an undead kind of theme. These are all sort of themed on the old Dungeons and Dragons role-playing game, right? But they turned it into a board game. And so that's like an undead kind of theme. You're in the dungeons of this big castle, and then the Wrath of Ashardalon came out. That's more of like a standard, fantasy kind of, with dragons and that kind of thing. Standard monster kind of dungeon crawl. And then the Legend of Drizzt, which was based on the Drizzt, awesome, by the way, books, the series of books, which are really cool, about Menzo Berenzan, don't know if I'm saying that right, and Drizzt Do'Urden, probably also not saying that right, but anyway, that's how I say it. And he's a drow, and very cool, but I think that made the game a little bit easier because of the powers of the heroes. Anyway, and then Temple of Elemental Evil came out, which is a famous story arc from the old Dungeons and Dragons role-playing game. And now there's a Tomb of Annihilation. As I'm filming right now, that's not even available yet, so we'll see what that has to offer. I will say this about this game. I think, in my opinion, this is like the best value of any game that I have ever bought in my entire life. What you get, the amazing amount of awesome, really awesome components, folks. The miniatures are incredible. I painted these miniatures, and you'll see that. But it is, for the money you pay, what you get, and the replayability and the amount of scenarios and all the stuff, all the incredible amount of like tokens and everything. There is so much fun to be had with this game. I mean, hours and hours and hours of playtime, and it's so cheap. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. So anyway, let's roll up into it. The first thing that I want to do, like I kind of always like to do, is I want to tell you what I've actually pimped out. Bow. In this game, so it'll be different if you buy this game. So I actually painted these figures, and you'll see these are all, look at all of these incredible figures that you get with this game. These miniatures are just absolutely amazing. I mean, the quality of them, I just love them. I think they're so good. And even if you don't paint them, you can see the detail. Let me see if I can focus in on that. Yeah. The detail of these miniatures and the actual quality of them. They're not the kind of miniatures where you get them and they're all broken up or bent everywhere. These are actually the same exact molds that they use for the Dungeons and Dragons, or used, I think it's defunct now, but the Dungeons and Dragons miniatures game. Or maybe that game is still going on, I don't know. But I mean, look at this guy. He is creepy, right? So I have to say, just amazing value. I mean, look at these. Some of these are they have like some translucency to them. There's a flaming skeleton. And I didn't really, this is a long time ago that I got this game. I didn't really know too much about painting, but these things are just so incredibly easy to paint. And I did these with a friend. I didn't paint all of them myself, but I mean, geez, look at that. I mean, they're just really fantastic. I mean, it would be worth it, well worth it, actually, just to spend the money if you just wanted all these figures for your role-playing games. But anyway, I painted those, so if you got this game, from scratch, they're not going to be painted. They're all going to be one color. These are the characters that we're gonna learn about today. This is Thorgrim, the dwarf cleric. We're going to use him, and we're going to use Alyssa, who is a ranger, right there. The other thing that I don't even know if you would call this, pimped out, but this is just something that I printed out just for this one particular scenario. So what you'll get is like something very similar to this that's in the scenario book, but I just sort of printed this out just to make it a little bit nicer and a little bit more functional. So what is happening in this game? This game is a standard dungeon crawl, folks. It is going through the dungeon and slaying monsters and getting encounters, topple down upon your head and just trying to beat that scenario as much as you can. But it's not complicated at all. This isn't a very deep, complicated, complex game. There are, decisions that you need to make, which is really fun, especially if you're playing with other players. This is also a fantastic solo game. You play a 2-player or whatever. I'll talk more about it in the end, but let's just talk about that, what we're doing here. So what you do on your turn is you're going to get a hero phase, exploration phase, and villain phase. And you'll see this. I'm just going to tell you this just super quick so you know what's going on. On your hero phase, what you can do with your character, each person controls a character, or I'm playing solo now, so I'm going to control both of these characters, is you can move up to your speed, and you see Thorgrim's speed is so simple. He has a speed of 5, and Alyssa has a speed of 6. I'm trying not to wing this around too much because I know that makes people dizzy. I've heard it a couple times, so let me know if I'm doing that too much still. But Alyssa has the speed of 6, so you can move your speed and then attack, right? Say if there's a monster there, like this really cute kobold, by the way. These kobolds are just adorable, in my opinion. Let's say there's a kobold there, so you can move and then attack, right? Or you can say attack and then move. Or if you're not attacking at all, you could do a move, right? Where you move twice, right? Your speed. So like Thorgrim could move 10, 1, 2, 3, and you're moving by these squares. These are called tiles and these are called squares, bam, right? So that's what you do on your hero phase. You can move, attack and then move, or else move. And then there's the exploration phase. So that's real simple. If you're at the edge of they call this an unexplored edge, then what you're going to do is, and you'll see me do this, is you take a tile, flip it over. So there's this really cool sort of, and I love it when games do this, there's this great sort of anticipatory feeling where, oh man, what is this tile going to be? Is it going to go left? Is it going to go right? These tiles don't happen to be like insanely different, all of them, but it is fun to see, especially a little bit later in the scenarios. You're wondering whether you're going to get that tile you want or not, and then you flip over a monster every time. See, there's not like wandering monsters where you might see a monster, might not. In this game, every single time you flip a tile, which is so cool, a monster is going to come out. You don't have to flip a tile on every one of your turns, but if you do flip a tile, you explore like that, there's going to be a monster, so it's pretty rad. Anyway, again, if you end your hero phase on an edge, then what you're going to do is you're going to flip a tile over. Now, you flip the tile over, and when you do that, say like, let's just pretend I just flipped this tile over, right? Say if she was on this explored edge, Alyssa, and it was exploration time, so I would take it from over here and pop it right there. And that's another thing, folks. This was brilliant how they did this. Don't zoom in too much, Finbar. Come on, you're going to make people dizzy. This sort of puzzle piece kind of situation, what's so brilliant about this was so smart. They didn't make the puzzle pieces fit together really tight. So you can move this whole thing around, but it's so easy to pick these up and add more. You're not like always pushing it. In games that used to have these puzzle pieces kind of things, it was always like hard to get them in there and you had to move it around and they would, you'd scuff them up. So this was just so brilliant. Anyway, can you tell if I like this game or not yet? So anyway, explored edge, you're going to explore, pop it here, and see this bone pile that's right here? You would pick a monster card, right? And actually put whatever monster that is on that bone pile. Very simple, right? That's your exploration. Now, if you, the next part is your villain phase, right? And the villain phase what happens is all the monsters, right, the monster that you put down, they're going to activate, and you'll see how that happens in a specific way, depending on the monster's cards that you have in front of your character, actually. So that's how that works, and you will see that happening just now. So every game that you play of this is a different scenario, and there's a scenario book. So I'll tell you what's happening in this scenario real quick, and then we'll start playing. Right now, there is actually, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to read it to you. This is a scenario book right here, and it says when you start the adventure, and there's many scenarios in here. This is adventure 11, actually, that we're going to do. And you pick a scenario and you just play it, and the scenario tells you how you set up the map and different things that you do. You have learned that Strahd has been secretly constructing a flesh golem in his workshop beneath Castle Ravenloft. The mystic Madame Ava has explained that normal items found throughout the dungeon, such as mirrors and portraits, can have a soothing effect on the flesh golem. You can calm the creature or you can destroy it, Madame Ava explains. Be careful, however, for some items can have the opposite effect on such creatures. Now you descend into the dungeon crypts to once more disrupt Strahd's evil plans. Strahd is sort of like the evil architect. He owns this castle. That's him right there. He's a vampire, right? So again, the undead sort of theme to Castle Ravenloft. So basically what happened in the setup is we put a tile that's called the workshop down after 8 of these tiles. There's 3 tiles mixed in here. One of them is the workshop. So after we lay down 8 tiles, we know that the 9th, 10th, or 11th tile is going to be the workshop. Once the workshop comes out, this guy right here comes out, the flesh golem, right? And this is sort of like the antagonist of this scenario. So what we can do is we can either calm him down. If we lay 3 calm tokens on him, we win the adventure. Or if we kill him, we win the adventure. If we destroy him, right? So how do we calm him down? Well, what happens is, in this game, you're going to be slaying monsters, right? Now, when we slay a monster, you actually get a treasure card. And I always forget to give... I'm going to actually do this right now. I'm going to take 2 treasure cards. And I'm going to give... And they actually each start with a treasure card. So Thorgrim got a short rest. Play this fortune immediately. Flip up one of your used powers. That is useless. So that's going to go into discard. That's unfortunate. And Alyssa got a magic sword. Play this item immediately. You gain +1 bonus to attack rolls against adjacent monsters while this item is in play. Wow, that's fantastic. +1 attack rolls against adjacent monsters while this item is in play. That is actually incredible. So normally when you kill a monster, you get a treasure, right? But what we can choose to do in this game is, see, I have this bag, and this bag has some otherwise seemingly common items in it, like portraits or mirrors or like little animals, things like that. And we can get that instead, actually, of picking out a treasure. So you see in here, there's an animal here, there's a portrait token, there's a skull, right? Now, notice over here, there are those same icons, right? Animal, food, mirror, portrait, skull, torch, okay? Now, there's also these reactions here. Now, on the underside of these reactions, where you can't see, it either says enrage or it says calm, okay? So now, once we kill a monster instead of getting a treasure, which again is an interesting choice that you have to make. You can either opt for getting one of these items, right? And then what I would do then is I'd go into this bag and randomly pull one of those items out, right? And you get to keep it. So then we pull an item, so maybe like Thorgrim eventually will have like maybe an animal and a portrait, and Alyssa will maybe have a mirror, right? Now, the other part of this is we can spend experience points when you kill a monster. I'll just flip a monster over here, right here. Like this blazing skeleton, it gives you experience points. So for this guide, we have 2 experience points. Put them back in there. Now, if you can collect 5 experience points, which we will, you can actually spend those experience points to flip over one of these, any one we want, right? So in that case, this scenario is so cool. So let's say we kill enough monsters and we spend 5 experience, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to flip this one over. It'll tell us whether the animal is actually going to enrage the golem, or it's going to calm the golem, right? So then if we can, by luck, get the animal out of that bag, and let's say that says calm him over here, we would know instead of attacking him, we can show him the animal, and that will calm him down. And if we put 3 calms on him, he's totally pacified, and we win the adventure. So it's really, really interesting. It's really that's a really fun adventure. This one, scenario, I should say. And we're just going to get right into this. As you see, our characters have special abilities, and they have, these are actually a really cool part of the game. What we have here is at-will powers and utility powers and daily powers. These daily and utility powers you can only use once, and then you have to flip them over, right? And these at-will powers, you can keep using them over and over again, and you actually choose which one that you want to attack with. And same thing here. All these characters are different. They all have different abilities. Now this person, right, who's the dwarf cleric, if you do not attack on the turn, one other hero on your tile regains a hit point. So see, he's a healer. Now this person, Alyssa, who's the ranger, now normally, remember I said you have to be on the edge to explore? Well, she doesn't have to be on the edge to explore. She could be right over here and she could explore, because that's hers. During her exploration phase, you can explore one unexplored edge on your tile even if you aren't adjacent to it. So you have to be on the tile, but doesn't have to be adjacent to that edge. That's great. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have Thorgrim go first, and I will explain everything that all this other stuff as we play. You'll see it's very, very simple. I want to tell you folks too, just real quick, that this game, although it's in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons, don't think that you're going to have to do all kinds of role playing and actually that it's going to be like some kind of like actual pen and paper role playing game. There's like you don't have to role play at all for this game. This is strictly a board game, right? I mean, it's fun. There's little like in this scenario, like what I just read to you, there's little interesting sort of like flavor text. You don't even have to do that. You could play this just like a tactical board game if you want. It's just kind of fun that it has like little different flavor text and different kinds of things from the Dungeons and Dragons world. You don't ever have to have played Dungeons and Dragons. You can have this game and invite people over for one night, and now I've done it before, and you can just play it and have a good time. All right, so Thorgrim is going to move his speed. Let's see, he gets to move. He's going to move 5, so let's go. See, and we can choose which way we want to go here. We can go left, right? I'm going to go 1, 2. Let's see, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the end of his hero phase. Now is the exploration phase. So I flip over a tile. All right. Oh, I completely forgot to talk about what this black means here. I think I went off tangentially talking about something else, but that's not a good thing. Notice this is a black arrow, and this one down here is a white arrow, right? You don't want to see these black ones, folks. So we got the crypt corner, that's going to turn like that. So remember, now we're going to put a monster on there, and here's how we do that. We pick a monster card, and it's going to be a ghoul, right? And the ghoul has a nasty bite that does 3 points of damage, or a claw that does 1, and it immobilizes you. So there's these conditions you can have. So I put that down right next to Thorgrim, just like this. And the order that these monsters come out is actually important to the game. So it goes right there. And then now, so that was our exploration phase. We actually grab the ghoul and put him on here. It's the ghoul mini. Very cool. I mean, look at that. He's actually eating an arm. So awesome. Very cool, very detailed. Minis. So, all right, there's the ghoul right there. The ghoul is pretty bad. He's a pretty bad guy because he does 3 damage. Okay, so now we're going into the villain phase, right? Remember I said there's a hero phase, exploration phase. Now what happens in the villain phase is that if you did not, let's say if I ended up here, so if I did not put down a new tile, or if you put down a tile with a black arrow, you have to draw an encounter. And these encounter cards, folks, these are the bane of your existence in this game, Castle Ravenloft. These encounter cards are horrible. They just beat you up, but it's such a great mechanic because it keeps the game going and it makes sure you don't just hang out. I mean, it's a really cool mechanic, but this is a cooperative game. Everybody's playing together against the game, and this kind of like, this is the this and the way that the monsters have these tactics lets you not have to have someone else that's running all the monsters and stuff. The game does that by itself. So anyway, so now we have to draw an encounter card. So in your villain phase, you're going to first draw an encounter card, either if you did not explore or if it's a black arrow. And then if there's a villain, like this would be, he'd be considered our villain in this scenario, right? If there's a villain in play, you activate the villain, and then you activate all of your monsters in the order that you got them. So you'll see that. But anyway, for right now, we have to draw an encounter card. And these are bad. Right? This is called Strahd's Trick. Place the active hero on a tile within one tile of you that has the most monsters on it. If no tile within one of you has monsters, the active hero takes 1 damage. Okay. So place the active hero on a tile within one tile of you that has the most monsters on it. So what's going to happen is this gentleman right here, who's the active hero, is going to have to go onto this tile, right? Just like that. And you can put him, I can put him anywhere on this tile. I mean, I can put him here if I want to make it easier to explore. Let's see, do I want to do that or do I want to make him adjacent? Let's see. Okay, so now there's no villain in place, and now we're going to actually activate this monster. So, and this is how this works. There's this sort of AI right here. You just do from top down what it says. If the ghoul is adjacent to a hero, it attacks the hero with a bite. Okay, so that was a bad idea.
I've made a huge mistake.
So right away, I should not have put him there. I should have looked at, this was a big mistake. I should have looked at his actual tactics and realized that if he was going to bite me for 3 damage and a +9 if he was adjacent. So that was a really stupid move, but oh well, shouldn't have done that. Okay, so if the attacks hero with a bite. Now, here's how attack works. The attack is a +9, right? In this game, we use the old 20-sided die. This is a different 20-sided die than you get in the game, but it doesn't matter. And then you look at, so it's going to be +9, so whatever you roll, +9. And then you look at the armor class of the character. So this armor class is 16, right? So we're going to roll this die. We're going to add 9 to it and see if it's 16 or higher. All right, 17 without the plus is even, so what's going to happen is this hero is now going to take 3 damage from this bite. Man, that was dumb. Okay, so he has 3 hit points of damage, and he only gets 8. So what happens is, if your hero dies, right, then you're going to have to use a healing surge. And we only get 2 of these healing surges, folks. So all game, we only get 2 healing surges. So, and when you use a healing surge, that means next turn, well actually, next turn when you use a healing surge, he only gets 4 hit points back. And also, Alyssa only gets 4 hit points back, right? All right, so we activated the monsters, and that's it. So now is Alyssa. So I think now that there's a monster right there, Alyssa is going to try to get there and attack that monster. So I switched something out. I actually gave my ranger, instead of, she had this ability where she just goes adjacent to a monster and does 1 hit point of damage on it. But in a 2-player game, that's not a whole lot of fun because, you know, what happened was Thorgrim just kept getting a monster, and then all of a sudden she would go and kill it. And then Thorgrim would get another monster, and she would run over and kill it. So I think that's a little strong in a 2-player game, so I switched it out for her hunter's shot. So she'll have to roll, actually, to see if she can kill some monsters now. So just a little bit of a change there, in case you did see that. And I did mention that they were really strong and adjacent, but now they're not. So anyway, it's her turn. She's going to move she can move up to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She's going to go right here, and she's going to attack this ghoul with that hunter shot. Attack 1 monster within 2 tiles of you. And when they say within of you, it includes the tile that you're on. If you missed it in the more than one time, okay, so she gets a +6. The ghoul has an armor class of 16, so we're going to add 6 to this roll. And we rolled a 1. Why, that's terrible. Okay, so I missed. So that's really bad, again, because this guy does a lot of damage, man. A lot of damage. So Thorgrim, luckily, is a healer, but with his normal ability, he doesn't really get to use that on himself. It says 1 other hero. Now, he has this Cleric's Healing Strike. Attack 1 adjacent monster if you hit. Choose 1 hero within 1 tile, that hero gains 1 point. Now that can be, the consensus is this can actually be used on him. So I think that's what he's going to do. It's his turn now. Because Alyssa doesn't have any monsters to actually activate. So hero phase, Thorgrim is adjacent to this person, so he's actually going to try to attack and do some damage and get some healing. So again, armor class is 16, so this attack actually, let's see, the healing strike, attack one more time with one damage to something. Okay, so yeah, this healing strike gets a +8. So that's a really fantastic, it's a fantastic power. So we're gonna roll in +8 to that roll. 13, so that does not hit. Wow, we are rolling terrible, folks, against this ghoul. That's really bad. So remember, but attack and then move, right? So we can go 1, 2, 3. And we're going to explore this edge. Hopefully it's not black. Oh, fantastic, it's white. Thank goodness. All right, and we're going to put another monster there. Hopefully it's nothing too bad. And it's a wolf. So these guys are fast, and they can actually slow you down. See, if they pounce on you, they slow you down because they're heavy, and I don't like to think of these as wolves because I actually like wolves a lot. So I think of them as wargs. They're like evil creatures that are just trying to kill us. So I'm going to place this right here. Again, it's Thorgrim's turn. So he gets it right there. Thorgrim's the active character. Wolf goes right there. And we don't get an encounter card because that's white. So we're going to go right over into the villain phase. And we are going to activate that wolf. If the wolf is adjacent to a hero... Whoops, I forgot to put the wolf down. So remember, they go on these. Wolf is adjacent to a hero, which it isn't. If the wolf is within 2 tiles of a hero, it moves adjacent to the closest hero and attacks the hero with a pounce. So there's that +7 and slowed, so it'll slow him down. So I really hope this doesn't hit, folks. Armor class is 16. You gotta remember, Alyssa's armor class is 15. Alright, so we're gonna add 7 to this roll. That's 7 + 7 is a 14, so that's good. So that actually missed. So this gentleman was small enough to be able to avoid that. But he did move adjacent right here. Now you can move through your own allies, but as long as you can't actually like end up on the same square as an ally. You can move through them. You can't move through monsters, but you can move through your allies. So this, you might have thought poor Thorgrim was trapped back here, but he was actually not. All right, so that was Thorgrim's entire turn there. Now we're going again to Alyssa. And Alyssa's, I would really like Alyssa to be able to kill this, this ghoul. This ghoul is really nasty, being able to do 3 damage when it's adjacent. So, yeah, I think she's just going to use her hunter shot again at +6, and that ghoul has a 16. So we need a 10 or higher here. 8. Ah, damn. Missed it. That's very bad, actually. So, but can attack and move. Now, this is why it's important to look at the tactics, right? If the ghoul is adjacent to a hero, no. If the ghoul is within 1 tile of a hero, it was adjacent to the closest hero. Yeah. So I don't want this ghoul to move adjacent to Thorgrim because Thorgrim already has 3 hit points of damage. So, yeah, the Thorgrim can move during his turn, so that doesn't really matter. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move, let's see, attack, and then I'm just going to move here. No, I'm going to attack, sorry, and I'm going to move. Oh, see here, that's interesting, right? So 1, 2, oh, look, I killed the wolf. I'm actually going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to move here. And get to explore. Hopefully this is white, and it's not, it's black. Okay. Put a monster out, and it's going to be... Wow, another wolf. Look at that. Well, that's bad, actually, when you have several of the same creature. So I'm going to put the wolf down here next to Alyssa. And, yeah, that's pretty bad. So we get another wolf. It was a wolf pack, actually, a dire wolf, evil wolf pack, right? And then we get an encounter, unfortunately, because of this. Wow, we're not doing too good. Strahd's trick. Place the active hero on a tile within one tile of you that has the most monsters on it. If no tile within one tile of you has monsters, the active hero takes 1 damage. Okay, so within one tile. Within one tile of this person that has the most monsters in it, and you can see within one tile they actually both have the same amount, so we can pick where we want. And when you activate something, like say on Thorgrim's next turn, when he's going to activate the ghoul first and then the wolf, when you activate a wolf, if there's another of the same creature, you activate them both, actually. So that's pretty bad. So I wonder if I should actually try to kill one of these wolves. They do 1 point of damage and slowed. I don't know. That's difficult. Or I kind of want to be closer to this guy, but I don't want to be adjacent to him. That's for sure. So I think I'm going to move here actually. And that way, well, Thorgrim can move with me on the same tile, because he'll get to move first and then attack. I think that might be a good idea. I don't know. Jeez, yeah, I don't know. Or do I want to take out this? Let's see if I go here, that. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go right in there. And now we activate, oh, actually now I'm going to activate the wolves. That's right, so both wolves. Oh man, that's really bad. Oh man, I shouldn't have done that. I should have moved here so I was adjacent to that wolf, because that wolf is going to get to attack with a bite. All right, well, let's see how this rolls out. Okay, so the wolves are actually going to attack now. The wolf is within 2 tiles of a hero. It moves adjacent to the close area. So this is going to move adjacent to me, like right here, say. An attack with a pounce. So it's moving and then jumping on top of me, +7. All right, you got a 15 armor class here, folks. Oh man, it totally got me. So that means I take 1 injury. Alyssa takes 1 injury and is slowed. So slowed, your speed is 2. Discard this condition at the end of your hero phase. So I'm going to put this here just so I remember. It says to put it on your hero card, but I always forget them, so put it out there so I remember. All right, well that's bad. Now this guy now activates, and unfortunately this person is adjacent right here, and it says if the wolf is adjacent to a hero, attacks with that hero with a bite, +9. Ooh, that's bad. 16 armor class. Yep, 18, so that hits him with a bite. Does 2 damage. Wow, this is like second turn and this person's almost dead. Look at that. 2, 3, 4, 5 already, jeez. But it doesn't slow him, so that's good. So it just does 2 damage because he was right there already, just bites him. All right, so now is Thorgrim. Thorgrim really needs to heal big time. Yeah, attack an adjacent monster, so. Wow. I think what Thorgrim's going to do is going to move like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and attack this adjacent monster right here. And hopefully kill it. So that's going to be the healing strike for +8. And the wolf has a 14. So let's see what we can do. Yes! Alright, so that kills the wolf. The warg, I should say, is gone. Dead. So we put that over. Now we get these experience points. Just 1 experience point, which isn't much, but at least it's something. And this warg is dead. And instead of getting, normally you can get a treasure, but instead of getting a treasure, I'm going to want to try and take one of these items. And I put them in this big cup because it was too hard to get it out of that bag you saw before. Food. All right, so food. So we're looking here at food, and we're going to try and flip this reaction to see what the food will do to that gentleman. this gentleman standing right here, the flesh golem. All right. So now because he's not on an unexplored edge, he does not get to, actually I probably should have gone there, that would have been smarter, but we're going to get an encounter. Ghost of Prince Oriel. Flip over one of your unused daily or utility powers. If you don't have an unused power, flip over to, wow, that's really bad. A ghost materializes in the corridor ahead. Its horrid features freeze you in terror. Wow, Thorgrim was really scared of that. So now I gotta flip one of these. And I don't want to flip this one because that gives one hero hit points equal to the healing surge, which is incredible. So I'm gonna have to get rid of the Beacon of Hope, which is really too bad. That was an awesome card. But sometimes you can get a treasure card that actually allows you to flip these back over. So hopefully something like that will happen. So that was the encounter. Now notice this ghoul actually activates at this point. So what the ghoul is going to do, because of my amazing tactics, if the ghoul is within one tile of a hero, it moves adjacent to the closest hero, but he's not within one tile, right? This is actually 2 tiles. You can't ever count tiles diagonally. You can count squares diagonally, but not tiles. So this is actually 1, 2. So otherwise the ghoul moves 1 tile toward the closest hero. So this ghoul is going to move here. 1 tile toward the closest hero, which is this gentleman. I'm sorry, which is this girl right here, Alyssa. So now it is Alyssa's turn. And Alyssa, notice there's 2 monsters here. Now, this ranger has a twin shot. It's you fire 2 arrows in the space of a breath. Attack 2 monsters within 1 tile of you. The attack is only at a +4, so it's really hard to hit with. But it does 1 damage each. So this is that famous ranger shot or elf shot that you see in the movies where they pull back 2 arrows at once and they fire at their enemy, you know? Goes sailing off and kills both of them. So if you ever wonder how that happens, watch this right now. So when you actually attack 2 creatures, you actually roll for both of them, right? So what it's at a +4. So first I'm gonna see if this one hits the ghoul, which is, he's a really bad enemy. So I'm actually going to, let's see, actually, you know what? He's slowed, she is slowed, but I guess she's in a good spot. I don't think I'm actually gonna move. I think I'm just gonna fire. So yeah, so it's +4, and you gotta hit a 6. We have to hit a 16, which is not easy, folks. Need a 12 or higher here. Come on. 14.
Find a tight corner.
All right. I can't believe it. So we actually killed this ghoul. Fantabulous, and that gives us 2 more experience points. So you put them in this stack right here. So as you can see, now we have 3 experience points. Killer. And instead of getting a treasure, once again, I'm going to go and see if I can get one of these items. And we're going to get the mirror, actually. So Alyssa gets the mirror. Again, we have to start flipping these over to see what the mirror does and what the food does. So that gentleman is dead. Notice we painted the ghouls differently. That's kind of like a fleshy ghoul, and this is like a green zombie ghoul. All right, let's see if the twin shot might not have hit the evil warg over here. So it's a +4. The warg only has a 14, so we only need a 10 or higher on this one. Come on, double shot. See what happens here. Exciting. Yes! It's unbelievable. We got an 18. Cool. So this guy's dead. Bam. Look at that. Just rolling through them also. You can only actually get 1 treasure per turn. So no matter how many baddies you kill, it'd be nice now if I can get another treasure card or another one of these that's in the cup, but another item, but I can't. So, but what we can do is the wolf is worth 1 experience point. So 2, 3, 4. Remember, if we get 5 experience points, we get to flip one of these. So that's really awesome. So we need to kill 1 more thing. So that's great. All right, that was really good. Now, she's slowed, so she can only move 2 anyway. So she just attacked. So it doesn't really matter because she, remember, can explore even... That just told me low battery. She can explore even though she's not on an adjacent. But let's see here. I think I forgot, when I did my healing strike, I forgot the whole reason I did that was because I wanted to gain 1 hit point. So since I got this food, that must mean that I killed that monster. So I'm going to gain 1 hit point. So now he only has 4 on him. Half of his life is gone, waning away. All right, so now Alyssa, she can only move 2. She's slow. It doesn't really matter. So she's actually going to she's going to stay where she is, and she's going to explore this edge right here. And it's black, so it's an encounter. That's a bummer. How many? We went through 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we got to put a monster out, and it is a kobold. These guys are really cute. You'll see. So kobold goes here next to Alyssa, and we're going to find kobold. Look at this guy. Come on, look at that little kobold. Look how cute he is. He's adorable, but very, very evil. So don't think that we don't need to kill him. I mean, look at how detailed these minis are, man. For the price you pay for this game, it is like unbelievable. I'm going to keep harping on that. So anyway, kobold goes here. And let's see. We're going to have to get an encounter because it was black. Let's see what it is. Treasure chest. You open a treasure chest, roll a die. 1 to 10, you take 2 damage. 11 to 15. So most likely, we're going to take 2 damage. 11 to 15, we're going to take some damage. 11 to 15, take 1 damage and draw a treasure card. That's really cool. 16 to 20, draw a treasure card. I wonder if instead of drawing a treasure card from this, I could actually take something from in there. I need to look that up, actually, what that says. But anyway, we don't want to get a 1 to 10 here. So come on, let's not get 11. We want 16 to 20. A 4. Well, won't need to look that up at least. So, wow, the treasure chest, I guess, was trapped. And an arrow flies out of it. And we get 2 damage. That sucked. What a disappointing treasure chest. All right, oh well. Maybe sometimes you roll well, sometimes you roll really horribly. All right, so then this kobold, actually, the kobold is a long-range fighter. He has these javelins. I know that if the kobold is within 1 tile of a hero, it attacks with it. Closest hero with a thrown javelin, +9. So they're good with these javelins. So closest hero, unfortunately, I screwed up again, but I didn't know a kobold was going to come out. If I did know that, I would have gone here. So I would be closer. But the closest hero is actually, unfortunately, our poor, Thorgrim. With a 16, and this is at a +9. Wow. All right, let's roll another 4. 17. Okay, so that absolutely hits. And it does 1 damage. So the damage that he just healed, he gets stuck in the face with a javelin. Anyway. All right, cool. So now is Thorgrim's turn. And Thorgrim, again, needs to heal. He kind of wants to do that healing strike again. It needs to be adjacent. So actually, he's going to move 1, 2, 3. See what if he's adjacent, he can't explore. So that's a bummer. I'd like to explore both to get closer to the workroom, but I'm not going to do that. So he's just going to go here, and he's going to attack this kobold, who's cute but evil, with the healing strike, +8. Kobold is a 13, so this shouldn't be that hard. 18, yeah, so that kobold actually only has 1 hit point, is dead. And look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 experience points. So that's fantastic. Now, kobold dies, and instead of getting a treasure, I know that's kind of a bummer for you folks because you want to see what these treasures are, but I think it's really good in this scenario to grab another one of these. So, when he gets the little animal, that's cute. All right, so he's got the food and the animal. Put these up here. Yeah, put them over here. Yeah, put them over here. Food and animal. All right, so a cool thing we could do right now is we can spend this 5 experience points. Now, this is difficult to do because normally you can, what the experience points is good for is a couple things. First of all, you can spend experience points to negate a really bad encounter card, which is really important, especially later on in the game. So it's really good to keep your experience. The other thing you can do with it is you can actually level up. So if you roll a natural 20 when you're attacking or when you're trying to defuse a trap, which you'll probably see some traps soon, if you roll a 20 on the actual die and you spend 5 experience points, you can level up, which actually flips this around and gives you some, makes you stronger and gives you some better abilities and lets you get another card as well. So that's pretty cool. But I think right now what we need to do is we need to spend these experience points to start flipping these guys over. But I guess at this point there's no real need to do that right now. Right? Because we need to do that actually like before we meet the golem at some point. So we have to make sure we have enough turns to do it. But actually I just read that has to be done during the hero phase anyway. We're not actually in the hero phase anymore. Well, I guess we are sort of. We're at the tail end of the hero phase. So do I want to do that? Yeah, I'm going to do that just to show you guys what this looks like. I probably shouldn't. I should wait. But I'm going to actually discard these cards. It's 5 experience. Put that over there. And I'm actually going to flip one of these over. So we have seen the food, right? And we have seen the animal. Right? We got the food, we have the animal, and we have the mirror. So I'm going to flip this animal one over and see what it says. Calm. Okay, that's great. That's very, very good. So instead of attacking, what we could do is we can show the animal to the golem, and it will calm him down. And if we get 3 calms on him, then we're going to win the game. So that's fantastic. Now, before I forget, we actually have to draw an encounter here because it was black. That black. So let's see what this encounter is. It's going to be a terrible encounter, but I wanted to show you guys how that worked. Teleport glyph. Uh-oh. An arcane symbol flashes at your feet and you disappear from sight. Place the active hero and each monster on his or her tile, there is no monster, on the tile farthest from the active hero. Well, that's really bad. That's really bad. That sucks. All right. So that means that this hero, glyph goes off, boop, and actually poor Thorgrim doesn't know what happened. Look at him. Look at how freaked out he is. There's no idea what just happened. Over here onto this tile. So I don't know. I mean, this actually goes away. I don't know if it's better to like start exploring this way, and then I mean this guy's pretty fast, so he can actually I keep calling her. She can actually move 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I might actually do that. I mean, instead of having him go all the way back up there. I don't know. It's nice to roll around some corners and stuff like that when you're trying to run away from somebody, though. 1, 2. Let's say if I put him here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is a bad place to explore right here. This looks like it's going to turn into a dead end or something probably, but I don't know. We can try it. Yeah. Or right here actually. It's not a bad idea. I might actually do that. So I think I'm going to leave him here. Yeah. And then, all right. So that was that. We don't actually have any monsters to activate. So now it's Alyssa's turn. So I think Alyssa is actually going to cruise this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Start here. I think we're going to start going this way, folks. And no attacks, and just flip a tile. Black again. Damn it. At least it's. Oh man, that sucks. All right, let's see what kind of monster we get. Skeleton. These guys aren't too bad, so that's pretty good. Put that down with Alyssa. Get one of our skeletons, which, by the way, check it out. They have tutti frutti colors on their shields. Each shield is a different color. Pretty cool, right? You know, gotta get creative with this stuff, folks. Come on. All right, skeleton encounter. Oh boy, here we go. This is an environment, right? A bat swarm. A horde of shrieking bats flutter through the catacombs, blocking your sight. So environment cards, unlike the other ones that we've been getting, actually events and stuff like that, these stay down. So this stays down unless another environment card comes up. Whenever a hero attacks a monster that is not on his or her tile, that hero makes the attack roll twice and uses the lower result. That's bad. That's really bad. So there's bat swarms running through here, folks. So anytime attacking a hero not on your tile, you gotta roll 2 twice and take the worst result. That is pretty awful. Come on, Strahd. What are you trying to do here? Yeah, that sucks. All right, and now this guy's going to actually activate. Adjacent, no, so the one tile of the hero moves adjacent to the closest hero attack center with a slice, +9, does 2 damage. Alright, adjacent to this hero. So here's interesting, I could put him here, or I could put him on the same tile. This guy's going to come over here, I'm probably going to put him here. What does that say, actually? Moves adjacent to the closest hero. Yep. Alright, so that's actually pretty bad. That's worse than I thought. A slice is +9 and it does 2 damage. That kind of sucks. So let's see, +9. Yeah. That's bad. So, 2 more damage from the slice. Wow, that's really bad. Look at this. It's got 5 damage on her. Oh, man. That's bad. Oh, well. Okay. So now is Thorgrim. Thorgrim is going to actually move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait a second. Well, yeah, Thorgrim kind of needs. Let's see. Actually, check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is adjacent right here. Oops, sorry, sorry about that. Yeah, this is considered adjacent. So again with the healing strike, attack an adjacent monster. If you hit the hero, one hero within one tile gains 1 hit point. So that means I could actually have Alyssa gain a hit point, but we're kind of both in the same boat here, so it doesn't really matter. Attack +8, and the skeletons have a 16. 13. That does not hit, so that is really crappy. So, whew. All right, move and attack. Now we're gonna flip a tile. Explorer right here. Oh, it's black again, man. Where are the white tiles? Jeez, what's going on here? Hope this isn't a bad monster. Oh, it's a spider. These guys kind of a bummer because they web you. Oh man. Okay. Spider. Sorghum controls a spider. That's pretty bad. And once again, the 2D 3D colors of the spiders. So what do you think? Yellow, red, or purple, folks? We're going to do purple spider. Look at these guys. Oops. It's a low battery. Look at these guys here. How cool is that? Little creepy spider. Alright. Spider's there. We have to do an encounter. See how I'm saying these encounters beat you up, man. Event, attack, spider webs. Wow. How freaking awesome is that? I drew a spider and we're getting spider webs. That is one of those really cool times, those really thematic times where it just, I mean, that was absolutely random, 100%. It just happens. I mean, stuff like that happens in this game all the time. Have a spider right there. What better attack than spider webs? How cool. Okay, we have to remember that bat swarm. And we got some spider webs here. Attack the active hero, so +4, and then we'll be immobilized. And if it's miss, we get slowed. Oh my god. Just the active hero. Okay. So it attacks at a +4. This is really crappy. Let's see what we got here. 14, so yep, that's 18. Oh man, so immobilized. Alright, so we got an immobilized marker right there. So that means, and this is great too. I mean, it's really clever. They say right on here, you cannot move. Discard the conditionator spare. I mean, it's big. You can totally notice it right there. And actually, it's not just a symbol. It actually says it right on there. Not very thematic. I mean, you could put it on the side here if you want, but I just want to make sure I remember. Oh man, that's terrible. And now, guess what? Now the skeleton is going, or I'm sorry, the spider is actually going to activate. The spider is adjacent hero. Nope. Within one tile, the hero attacks. It attacks the closest hero with an acidic. I'm sorry. You know what? My hand is shaking a lot. My arm's starting to get tired. Acidic web. An acidic web +11. 1 and slowed. Place the spider adjacent to the hero. Wow. +11. That is 1 accurate web. Oh yeah, that definitely hits him. So we're going to place this adjacent. The spider shoots the web, and he's already immobilized, so it doesn't really matter. But, you know, spiders didn't know that. And comes up all adjacent to this person right here. That's really bad. So, and it does 1 damage. So look at this, man. We're almost dead already. Can you believe this, folks? 6. 2 more hits and this guy dies, Thorgrim. Unless we use this power here. 1 hero regains hit points equal to healing surge. Yeah. That's really bad to use this early in the game, though. Well, I think what Alyssa's going to need to do is... oh, man. Thorgrim's not going to be able to move. Well, maybe Thorgrim can take out that skeleton right there. But what Alyssa's going to do is go 1, 2... yeah. Well, you know, I think by the rules of the game, she could shoot from here and actually shoot this guy and this guy. Because it says, attack 2 monsters within 1 tile from you, and these 2 monsters are within 1 tile of her, so she is really good with shooting. It's not that thematic, I don't think, but I don't know, maybe she has a way of, like, splitting her shots up, you know, something like that. But if I did that, then I wouldn't be able to explore, which is bad, because this yeah, I think I'm actually not going to do that. I think I'm going to move here, and actually, is it better to be adjacent to the spider? Let's see. Venomous bite. This 1 damage. Jeez, this is terrible. Well, I'm just gonna have to kill it. No, it's actually better to be further away. So I could go. Well, anyway, never mind. I'm just gonna shoot this spider from here, I think. And within 2 tiles, yeah. +6, damage 1. Ranger, hunter shot. Let's see what we got here. Come on. I really need to kill this guy. Oh my gosh, a 2. Oh man, this is really, really bad. I missed. Oh, it's terrible. Wow, that's really bad. Oh my gosh, and we got a black. What is going on here, folks? Jeez. We have to draw an encounter too. Oh my gosh. Stars and goiters. That's really bad. Alright, well, so what encounter we get, folks? An alarm. You know what? You gain a +1 bonus to attack rolls. Adjacent monsters. I gotta remember that. Damn it. Alright. Oh, so there's an alarm, a trap. The distant clatter of bells echoes through the crypts, drawing monsters out of their lairs to attack. Wow. Place the alarm mark on the active hero's tile. If the tile already has mine, which it doesn't, trigger the trap during your villain phase. Place a new monster on the unexplored that is... Wow, this is really bad. Jeez. And you can disable this trap, rolling a 10+. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to find the alarm. Alright, so there's the alarm tile right there. So that's pretty bad, man. Trigger the trap during... Yeah, so there's just going to be monsters going there, like, all the time after... You know, after Alyssa's turn. Each turn she's going to activate the skeleton, and then she's going to activate the alarm. So that's pretty bad. Yeah, so now the skeleton is going to activate. And adjacent to poor Thorgrim. So scimitar. +7, 1 damage. Alright, here we go. This is very, very bad. Yep. 1 damage to Thorgrim, who is almost dead. 1 more damage. Wow. Oh, man. I think I'm going to have to use that power, believe it or not. Ugh, it's terrible. Alright, and then this alarm happens. And let's see. Place a new monster on the unexplored edge that is closest to the alarm marker. Yeah. Well, there's only one unexplored edge, so what kind of monster we're getting there? Rat swarm. These are cool. Alright. So, I'm over right there, I guess. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is terrible, folks. We are not doing good. Not doing good at all here, folks. Alright. Yeah. Look at these rat swarms. Look at how cool this is. My ex-girlfriend actually painted these guys. She decided to paint them different colors. Look at how cool they are. Oh my god, seriously, I can't even tell you how cool this miniature is. Look at the you can see the detail in the rat, the actual rat tail and their eyes. You can see their eyes. They have red eyes as well. I mean, this is just unbelievable. This mini, look at that. The different colors are so cool. I love it. Anyway, I'll put the rat swarm over here. Oh boy. 3 monsters on the board. That's terrible. Alright, what can Thorgrim do now? Well, unfortunately, I think Thorgrim's going to have to do this. During your hero phase, one hero regains hit points equal to his or her surge value.